Hi, this is Celeste. I'm an astrologer, coach, and intuitive. And today I'm going to talk to you about the full moon in Libra. Now, I was almost halfway done with my presentation. I am still under the spell of Mercury and Pisces, and I hope I had to start over because of anyway. I hope I can still be as I hope this goes well because I do not want to start again. Yes, so we're going to talk about the full moon in Libra. It's on March 28th at 8 degrees of Libra. I love this quote from Gandhi. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are all in harmony. Yes, harmony, balance, diplomacy, all Libra words. I love it. So we're going to talk about the signs involved, what, the full moon phase means, the larger story of the moon phase family, talk about the chart and what it means for you. So at the full moon, the sun and the moon are standing 180 degrees apart. They're as far apart as they can be. They are in opposition. It's called a hard aspect, meaning it's activating. And we have opportunities, 12 to 13 opportunities each year to have a full moon on a particular axis where we can have an opportunity to make the subconscious conscious and really have another view of what's going on in our lives, because the sun is more about our outward expression, our identity. It's what we see. What's the conscious part of how we take action in the world, and it's in the sign of Aries. So really speaking to the self, how you take action for the self, independence, how you express your independence or don't, assertiveness or not, competitiveness or not. On the shadow side, it can be, rude, impulsive, and self-centered. But I really think about the enthusiasm and bravery and joy when I think about Aries. Think about the child just going forth. It's the first sign of the zodiac, without a care in the world, going after what their goals are. And that is the self. Now we need to balance that kind of energy. We can't, what a world we'd have if everyone just pursued their own goals without thinking about the other. So this is the axis of the self and the other. So the moon is our subconscious. It rules our emotions, our feelings, our instincts, our intuition, our habits and our behaviors. And working with these moon cycles, you can help bring the subconscious conscious. It's such a great way to, live life with more purpose, intention, and self-awareness. Yes. So the Libra is ruled by Venus. Aries is ruled by Mars. Aries is cardinal fire. Libra is cardinal air. They are the same polarity. They're both yang signs. They're the same mode. They're both cardinal initiating signs. But Aries is fire. Libra is air. Fire and air are complementary. So it's really important in our lives to balance these two energies, so we're not too selfish or too people pleasing, these kind of things. Or codependent rather independent. Yes, the goal is to balance. So when you think of Libra, you think of a beautiful, elegant woman, although it's a masculine yang sign, but that is that anyway. I guess you could think of a really refined, handsome man, or gender neutral person. Anyway, balanced, artistic, charming, on the high road, indecisive, codependent, people pleasing on the low road. So this is an opportunity to balance these two energies in an area of your life by using the cycle. So let's just talk about a quick run through of the moon cycle. At the new moon, the sun and moon come together at the exact same degree. The new moon cycle we're in right now is Pisces. So hopefully you could created some intentions around creativity, intuition, compassion, things like that at the new moon. Then this is the monthly moon cycle. Then a week later, the sun pulls 90 degrees ahead of the moon. And then we have the first quarter moon, and that was in Cancer, because the sun had moved into Aries when that first quarter moon happened. And then we have the full moon where the sun and moon are standing in opposition. And now the sun is in Aries and the moon is in Libra. But we're still working on these intentions we set at the new moon in Pisces. And then we go, the sun pulls 3/4 ahead of, excuse me, the moon pulls 3/4 ahead of the sun for the last quarter moon. It's a time, to really clean things up, let things go before we relax, rest, release, and start the cycle anew. It's so beautiful having 12 to 13 opportunities each year to create intentions and move them forward in our lives. Yes. So the sun, as I said, the sun and moon are facing off. They're at the maximum distance. You can really see things clearly. It's an opportunity for, clear vision to see where you started and how you started and where you've gotten to, and, take an assessment. Now, always be aware emotions are intensified at the full moon. So it's a great time to examine your inner world. What is going on within you? Yes, we are in such turbulent, uncertain times with Saturn square Uranus being the theme of the year. The ground is always shaking beneath us. So really good to take time to center balance with this Libra moon. And yeah, take some time to harmonize your inner world. So also times to release what does not serve you. So it's time to celebrate the how you move things along. Doesn't matter how small the achievement is, just honor your progress, release what does not serve you. Don't agitate about air can want to like just go over things again and again and again. Just try to let it go. Just celebrate, forgive, move on. And then, decide what you're going to keep moving forward or let go. Okay, so there's this larger story as well. So we talk about, the 29 days of the moon cycle, plus there is this larger cycle that's 27 1/4 months, which is the moon phase family. Yes, so where we start with a new moon, where go to the first quarter, full moon, and last quarter over this larger time period at approximately the same degree. So really an opportunity to work on some kind of goal or aspect of your life or issue in your life. And so sometimes you don't know what really started around the new moon in September 28th of 2019, but really think about what was going on in your life around June 28th of 2020. You can give a week or so flex on either side. Think about if anything impactful happened. At the first quarter moon, there's often something where we make a decision or we seed something out into the world, or we like something already seeded, but we make some changes, we make adjustments. So think of what you adjusted. Maybe it's about COVID. You'd been working from home for however many months, and you decided you needed to buy it was in your fourth house, and you decided you need to buy a different setup so that you could be more energetically balanced while you were working, or you were working somewhere and you decided to change, or I mean, whatever was going on. With Libra, it could also be about how you interact with your, your partner, your spouse, or like a best friend or someone, an open enemy, or yeah, lawsuits is also a topic of Libra, seventh house issues. So yeah, think about how you partner with others, what changes, adjustments kind of came up around that time. Now we're at the full moon. All is revealed. Look at where you are, decide what you want to keep moving forward or what you want to release and let go. It's such a good time with, relationships have been under so much strain. Like I'm sure some people have just, oh, it's been all just wonderful where they lovey-dovey, deep in their relationships and everything was honky-dory. Well, I think there are probably a lot more people that really struggled through this pandemic, being around, you know, our families 24/7. Yes. And yeah, really good time to think about how it's going and what changes you need to make in order to get your needs met as well as the others' needs met. Yes, and hopefully you have a reasonable partner to, have these kind of conversations with. Libra is an air sign calling for you to use your voice. Yeah, and between now and at the December timeframe, it'll be time to, reap rewards from these actions you took around this part of your life and your story, or pay dues if yeah, the changes your inner voice is telling you to make if they're not made. Hmm. So yeah, I pulled the chart for Washington D.C. It is the capital of the United States. So this speaks to what's going on in the U.S. during this full moon. As you can see, the rising is 13 Leo. So when we have the next Saturn-Uranus square, Saturn will be opposite, Saturn will be squaring Uranus at exactly 13 degrees. So opposite this degree in Leo. So I just find that interesting that that's where the rising sign is. The rising sign like kind of talks about the people. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens at that next one. But this speaks to, yeah, since I have some new insights since I had to start over. Anyway, let's just keep going. So one thing I really like about this chart is that the elements are balanced. At the Aquarius new moon and most of that month of February, there were like 6 signs in air, 6 planets in air. It was just a real intensity and an unbalance of air, almost suffocating, although it was really good. It was a great new moon. And then in March, we had, all this intensity in the sign of Pisces. So like 5 planets in water at the new moon. So almost like we are drowning in emotion, or like and there was no fire. So it was just difficult. Anyway, and now we have a nice balance of fire, earth, air, and water in the sky. So I love that part of this. It is a bucket. In some ways, it's a bucket, yeah, with a handle. The moon is kind of like a handle. Most of the planets are on one side. A bucket is a chart pattern that speaks to most of the planets being on one side of the chart, with a lone singleton planet on the other. That's the handle. That's if it's an individual, it's like what is expressed most clearly from the person, the sign and the planet. Yeah, so this is the full moon in Libra. So we'll see, could be a really emotional full moon. I mean, full moons are always, emotions are high, like the police emergency rooms, people who work in public transportation know to be on alert for people, just wilding out at the full moon. But, having the moon all by itself on one side kind of even makes that even a more little intense. So just watch your emotions and yeah, watch what you say. I think it's really important. Another thing is that Mars is out of bounds. And when things are out of bounds, planets are out of bounds, it's like they answer to themselves. It gives them a Uranian flavor. Mars in Gemini, taking words, and it's a reporting to the sun in Aries, because Aries rules Mars. And yeah, really, really pause before speaking, because there really is an opportunity to say things you cannot take back with this out of bounds Mars. Yes, the sun, Chiron, and Venus are also partile, meaning at the same degree and conjunct. It's 0 at 8 degrees of Aries. Yeah, when planets are conjunct, and actually Chiron, it's debatable. It's an asteroid as far as I'm concerned, but yeah, anyway. This fusion to me calls to, the sun is about our will. Venus represents beauty, harmony, whatnot, and Chiron, the wounded healer. And Venus can also represent women or girls. All of these things fusing speaks to me about potential opportunities for healing for women. There's some nice quintiles, or like a little touch of magic. Who knows? Maybe there could be announcements of some kind of treatments to treat any kind of women's issues. I don't know. Unexpected medical breakthroughs. Uranus is quintile. Is it quintile or biquintile? Biquintile, the south node. That's neither here nor there. That's such a minor aspect. The more important thing is that, these energies are fused. It calls back to the Atlanta shooting in my mind, where it was horrible. This terrorist killed like 8 people because of his own personal problems in a massage parlor. It was just obscene. And so we have 3 planets here at 8, the moon's at 8, and Uranus is at 8. So if you have planets around 7 to 9, yeah, get ready for this, or points, get ready for this full moon, and really take time to, yeah, see what's going on with you. And yes, yeah, so we know Venus is also opposite the moon in her home sign. So that's very interesting. Venus answering to Mars, Chiron answering to Mars, Mars cutting aggression, action, desire. It's a good time to, I don't want to say get your freak on, but enjoy yourself. Like, ask for what you want in the romantic area. Yeah, that sounds better. Another thing which makes me a little concerned about Mars and outlandish actions is, so most of the planets have been like on one side, and it's called in the Dragon Bowl, because the North Node and the South Node are called that, like the head and tail of the dragon, Rahu and Ketu. So Mars has pushed, and this gives like a concentration of energy on one side. Mars has pushed through the Dragon Bowl and is like, I see this as well as not only being out of bounds, as giving Mars like free reign to kind of do what it wants. Luckily, it's in an air sign, but it is reporting into Aries. So we shall see what happens around this full moon. Hopefully nothing bad. Another thing that is going on is that there's a grand trine in air. So the moon in Libra is trining Saturn in Aquarius, and Mars in Gemini, Mars North Node in Gemini. So grand trines are ease. Now, sometimes we like grand trines. So they make a nice big triangle. It means there's like this ease around air. I have been concerned with the Saturn Uranus about someone like trying to poison people and things like that. And when there's an ease like this, Gemini rules transportation. So I know there was actually just a plane crash. Anyway, hopefully nothing bad will happen, but just be aware there's an ease for accidents to happen as well. When 9/11 happened, there was a grand trine in the sky. Yeah, so they're not always make this because things are easy doesn't mean they're necessarily good. But for our own lives, we can use this to, have the emotional connection with how we want to work Saturn and bring things forward in our lives, for our dreams, like a structure to our dreams. Aquarius, our visions, Saturn in Aquarius, and Mars in Gemini, like moving this forward through communicating it, writing about it. Yeah, just doing it. Yeah, so this is nice for us personally. I just am concerned about the bigger story. Yeah, so the sun, Chiron, and Venus are also sextiling Saturn. So there's an opportunity with this, and I like that. When planets sextile each other, it's like you have to put in the effort, but then there's an opportunity to bring good things around, bringing structure to your healing. If you're thinking about, I don't know, getting therapy or going to a marriage therapist, this would be a good time during this full moon cycle to make the appointment. Yes. Yeah. The moon is quincunx Uranus. See, 8 degrees exactly, because they are partile. That's just a little concerning because quincunxes can be a health aspect. So hopefully we're not going to see, numbers shoot up from these spring breakers in other states that were on their way down. Oh, good Lord. And then Mercury conjunct Neptune in the house of death. Anyway, Mercury conjunct Neptune. This can be about confusing messages coming out. For our own lives, we can articulate the vision that we want to move toward and be compassionate and creative, speak compassionately to others, things like that. Yeah. So those are the aspects of this moon. And for the most part, on the surface, it looks really nice and kind of soft. I'm just concerned about the moon being out of bounds and being out of the Dragon Bowl. Mars being out of bounds and out of the Dragon Bowl, and the moon being the handle for the people being extra emotional and wanting to act on these emotions, and that grand trine in air. Aquarius, having Saturn in Aquarius, all this stuff, I just probably nothing is going to happen. But this another reason why I was a little concerned is that Mars is out of bounds, is parallel this Alcyone star, fixed star, which for ourselves, it can get visionary, mystic abilities, really great to work with your oracle cards or tarot or just meditate or whatever at this full moon. But also this symbolizes ruthless and judgmental anger. So again, going back to, the Atlanta shootings, hopefully no copycats will do something crazy. Yeah. It's also conjunct diadem, so showing devotion for a cause, sacrifice for family. And when you think about on the, like the national or global stage, family can be, let's speak to like nationalism, a shadow of patriotism. And yeah, it's also linked to feminine strength and royalty. So maybe we'll hear more about Meghan and Harry. I'm kind of over that story, but fascinating. Actually, I'm not over it. I'll use it as an example of moon phase families. But yeah, I also, was a little concerned about the vice president. She's got Pluto approaching her square to her sun and moon, because she was born at a full moon that's flipped. Her sun is in Libra, and her moon is in Aries. So yeah, this is going to be in her first house with the sun is moving her through her seventh house of partnership, open enemies, things like that. So we'll see if there's any stories that come up about Kamala Harris this week. But yeah, I was also thinking about, somebody who's allied with one of these extremist groups, trying to attack others, or, who knows? Hopefully none of this will happen. But Uranus is still on Hamel, and which is a fixed star about brutality and violence, can be one of the expressions of it. It was very active at the Atlanta shootings, but at least the moon's not there. It's in conjunct it, which means calling for adjustment. So yeah, it'll be interesting. This is a Sabian symbol. I'm just going off down a rabbit hole of my how Saturn square Uranus is going to express itself at this moon phase. We shall see. Hopefully it won't. It won't, unless it's something good. Let's see. So the Sabian symbol is, Linda Hill has written a great book talking about Elsie Wheeler, this clairvoyant, sat under a tree with Mark Edmund Jones, astrologer, and went through every single degree of the zodiac wheel. And this is for any degrees between 8 and 9 Libra. You go up a degree when you read the Sabian symbol, so 9 Libra is correct. So 3 masters hanging in a special room in an art gallery. Sometimes they seem to speak to each other. I think this is so symbolic of what we're, in the pandemic, this, with the people you live with, and hopefully you have turned your home into a place where you can just be and speak to each other in a Libran way. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, I like this symbol. Okay, so let's go through, what does it mean for you? Okay, so if you are an Aries, the sun, this is your month, the sun is in your first house. And this we use solar charts for this. This is what astrologers use when they're doing horoscopes for the month. So the sun is in your first house and the moon is in the house of partnership. So really a good time for you to think about how you express yourself in your relationships and keep a balance between yourself and the other. Pretty straightforward stuff. Really take a good look. For Taurus, the sun is in the house of secrets and the moon is in the 6th house of daily life and work. So this is, I think of this as like the mental health, physical health aspect. Taurus ruled by Venus. We do like to sometimes indulge, take a good look about, how are you balancing and balancing the desire to indulge with, taking good care of yourself? Are you I mean, Tauruses are pretty stable and whatnot, but are you managing your anxiety and such well and whatnot? And I shouldn't say that Tauruses are pretty stable. I mean, people with a lot of that energy maybe, but yeah, you can have a mix of so much stuff. It's not necessarily expressed as stable and grounded depending on your chart. So for a Gemini, the sun is shining in your house of friends and groups and hopes and dreams. So really nice energy to think about, your visions and where you are with this, and letting go of things that no longer serve you. Your moon is in your fifth house of joy. So hopes and dreams and joy. This is a nice opportunity to think about, what how you get your needs met with your friends versus think about your children, other people's children. These are all things on this axis. And both, yeah, Aries sex Gemini and Libra trine, everything that's going on in Aquarius. So it's a really nice opportunity to even think back to the new moon in Aquarius, as well as this new moon in the larger cycle. Okay, so for Cancers, this is a time to think about how you are balancing. The sun is in your house of work, reputation, status. The moon in your house of home, roots, private self. How you are managing that work-life balance. Really good month to think about this. Think about, how you and your partner, spouses, whatever, are getting your needs met as you balance these two energies. Leo, maybe consider learning something new. It's in your house of expansion. How do you want to expand yourself? How have you expanded yourself? I'm talking like it's a how have you expanded yourself and what you need to release? Anyway, I this Mercury in Pisces, I'm still a mess. I'm doing the best I can. I was about to talk about setting intentions like it was a new moon. Some people set intentions at the full moon, whatever. Yeah, think about that and think about what you need to release. And this is big mind, little mind. So the sun focusing on big mind, the moon emotionally. Are you gathering what facts, how you gather facts in order to tell the bigger story or see the bigger story in your life? Let's just move on. Virgos, it's a good month to go into the basement, eighth house of the basement, that deals with, intimacy, shared resources. The moon in the second house of personal resources. You really can think about values. What old story? Virgos can be so self-critical or critical of others. So think about how you're critical of your partner or yourself, how you need to release that, how, your partner's probably tired of you talking about criticizing yourself, or them definitely they're tired of that. So think about how you want to release old stories if this is an issue for you. Or you can just be the priestess who needs to take a time to, take some time to look into the basement of, look into the basement and think about that. The basement being like taboo, our secret selves that we hide from others, and release old stories from there. Yes. So Libra is the opposite of Aries. The sun is in your house of partnership and the moon is in your house of this I'm sorry, the sun is in your house of partnership and the moon is in the house of self. Yes. So this again is like, what do you need to release about yourself? I mean, Libras tend to be, really concerned about the partner, but, when they don't assert their own needs, sometimes they can blow their top. So, keeping in mind that Mars is out of bounds in Gemini, if there's something you need to talk about it rather than waiting till, it becomes a real problem. And yeah, Scorpio, opposite of Taurus, the sun is in your shining a light on your daily habits and health. And, think about your mental health. Are you Scorpio sometimes can, deal with some issues of all that fixed water holding on to emotions. What do you need to let go? What do you need to release? What do you need to forgive for your mental well-being? Sagittarius, the sun is shining in your house of joy. You know how to have a good time. Maybe it's around your children versus other people's children. How you present and create in this world versus the audience. So maybe toning things down a little bit. What do you need to release about giving your audience? Maybe they need a break, especially if they've been with you for a year with barely the ability to to get out of the house. Yeah, yeah. And emotionally, Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter, really seeing the big picture or wanting the big vision and looking at your hopes and dreams and maybe thinking about, do you need to add a little realism? If not, then, you know, don't worry about it. Okay, so Capricorn, the sun is shining on your house of family and the moon in the house of career. So really Capricorn can tend to be, really hard worker. Um, Not all Capricorns. Yeah, I know a lot of Capricorns who have, not a lot. I know a few who have zero interest in Capricornian things. Um, so anyway, workaholic. If you're a workaholic, really take a look about how this is affecting your private self, and if you're in relationship think about how it's affecting your partner, and maybe what do you need to release from, or changes you need to make at work to make things better. Aquarius, this is your year, not just your actually more than your year. We had a new cycle start as Jupiter and Saturn met at 0 degrees Aquarius at the solstice, plus the Saturns and Jupiter are currently in Aquarius, the social planets, the square from Uranus. Yeah, your life is really in focus. So the sun is shining on your third house, about siblings, about, how you communicate, the small story, little story versus the big story. Really good for Aquarius, fixed air, to think about, are there big stories that you need to release? I mean, enough already with all this cancel culture and people being people being like canceled for things they said in high school. I mean, come on now. Can you imagine? Thankfully, when I was in high school, there was no Twitter, there was no Facebook, there was no Instagram, not a thing. Because if so, I might not be able to. I definitely would have said something, off the cuff and gotten canceled about something. God knows. Anyway, that's my suggestion, because Aquarius can really get entrenched with how the story you tell yourself. And Pisces. So Pisces, the sun is in your house of money and resources, personal resources, the moon in the house of shared values. This is an axis of, power and of our resources versus shared resources. Well, yeah, if you're young and still relying on your parents, what are you going to do? How do you emotionally let go of of that um, that binding in order to, take care of yourself and your own finances? That's a suggestion for a Pisces, how you're going to save and do things for yourself, if possible. I mean, lots of people are out of work and you have no choice but to rely on other people. So don't definitely not suggesting anyone beat themselves up if they're in a situation that's as a result of this horrible pandemic. But yeah, just think about resources or paying your taxes. Yeah. Release the procrastination and get to it. All righty. So here are some resources for you. Yeah, they're kind of the same ones you see all the time, but yeah. Lunar Shadows is amazing book. That's for astrologers only. Like if you're just like to use the moon for your own growth, then Moonology is a great book. Star and Planet Combination, that's for astrologers. That's all about the fixed stars and them, what they're about, and in combination with the planets by Bernadette Brady and the nodes. So I really like that book. And Linda Hill, I mentioned this earlier. This book, you get the descriptions. She has like expanded on all of the images Elsie Wheeler saw in her mind and written about it. And she has these oracle cards too, where you can shuffle them and pick and see what the story is you're drawn to, or just open it to a page. I love it. I think it's a really, really wonderful, wonderful book. So where to find me? Yeah, so well, I'm here on YouTube. My primary platform is Instagram. I do Instagram lives every Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. It's now Pacific Daylight Time, but you get the gist. I also put some stuff on Facebook, but I'm not as active there. My website is the best place to go learn about me at astrologybyceleste.com. thebomb.com. And yeah, subscribe to my mailing list. I send out good goodies. I am almost done with my new, it's like an ebook. It is fantastic. It talks about working with the cycles of the moon. And yeah, you definitely want to sign up and get that free resource. And you can, there's also right now, I don't know. You can go to Instagram and look at my bio to get the Sync for the Moon guide. That's a little different guide, but it's depending when you watch this, I'm going to replace my free guide. Also, book a reading with me. Yeah, book an astrology reading. You will not be disappointed. I really go in depth about what's coming up for you and the cycles. And I look at, not just the transits, but the progressions, the solar arcs. Sometimes I look at midpoints, all kinds of stuff to try to prepare you to surf the energies, especially if you are a Taurus, a Leo, a Scorpio, or an Aquarius. This year, you are likely seeing unexpected changes. So this helps you, be prepared. And those are the fixed signs. And Saturn, Uranus are squaring. That's what that's about. And yes, you can book an event. I do events for people. You can also book a coaching program. I have 25 plus years in corporate America in sales, marketing, business development, and leadership. So mentoring and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I really like career coaching, helping people with that. And when you bring in the astrological perspective, you get a whole new view of you. So thank you so much for watching this. I think I don't know what happened in the middle. I think something went awry with my brain. I love Pisces energy. My North Node's in Pisces, but Mercury here, I can't wait till Mercury gets into Aries. So I can start thinking more clearly and incisively again. Oh, also, I am having so many events in April. So definitely make sure you're on my mailing list so you do not miss out. They are going to be free. And I'm going to pull up people and we can talk about their charts. You're going to be learning some things about astrology. So I have gone on way too long. So I am going to stop this now. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for joining. If you have a question, drop it in the comments. Or yes, if you like this, please hit the like button. And yeah, subscribe to my channel and subscribe to my newsletter. And yeah, come to one of my free events. I'd love to meet you and give you some insights on your chart if you are selected. Yes, check out my website. The events page will have eventually the details. That's why you should get on my mailing list. I am really, really talking a lot. Maybe it's the Sun and Venus and Aries. Anyway, oh, Mars and Gemini. I'm having a Mars return. My Mars is natally in Gemini, and it happened yesterday. That's why I won't stop talking. Thank you if you're still listening. I doubt anybody's still listening at this point, but thanks and goodbye.